Hey, so we're driving over to Maddie's parents' house because we are about to leave on a trip with them. Her brother's got a volleyball tournament up in Virginia, so we are headed to Virginia, but on the way we're going to stop a night or two in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and then after the volleyball tournament we're going up to Shenandoah and we're going to do a couple days up in the mountains. We'll film a little bit and show you guys how the trip goes.
It is really bright, but it's really pretty.
I really like the marsh wetlands over there. So earlier we did a water balloon toss across just for fun. Thought we'd jump in with the kids and the families. So we did that, and then now they're about to do like a hula hoop contest, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna head up to the room. We've been out here for about 5 hours or so. Went on the beach. We're gonna go back out there later and we'll film some of that walk.
We wanted to get out of the room and explore a little bit, so we walked. It was like, what, 2 blocks?
Yeah, it's 0.7 of a mile.
Yeah, 0.7 of a mile. It really is not that far to Barefoot Landing. So we're just gonna go scope it out, and then we'll go back to the room for dinner and come back later tonight. We stopped at Land Shark Bar and Grill. We got some loaded fries, and Ryan got a beer. We are just taking a little walk on the beach this morning. There's a rainstorm coming. You can see it right ahead. And yeah, just trying to stretch our legs before we get in the car for a few more hours, and we'll be in Richmond. Stopped to get a little bit of coffee before we go, and you can see the rain picked up right over here. All the waves are coming in. Crazy how quick stuff changes.
So we've made it to Richmond. We are in the hotel. We were on 14. We just moved up to 15. There was a yippy dog across from us last night, so they upgraded us, and now we're on floor 15, and we get a better view. So I'm gonna take you over here. It's gonna be washed out for a second, but that's our view now, overlooking the river in downtown Richmond. So we're gonna go out there and walk around and see some of the trails.
We are in the Capitol Park. I think that's what they call it.
It's Capitol area here. So the Capitol building is right over this way here, which you can kind of see if we turn this around to there. That's the Capitol building. Back behind us over here, you can't see kind of where this wall is where the governor's mansion is, and then this is the Oliver Hill building.
All in this little area on a big hill.
Into the chamber. The Democrats are on the left, Republicans are on the right.
What do you think, babe?
Very nice state capitol building. So we came down here yesterday and we're gonna walk these paths because we didn't really film a lot yesterday. After we do this, I think we're gonna go do a couple house tours over by the Capitol, and we'll show you guys what those are.
Oh my goodness, the water is super brown. You can see some turtles in it though.
So we're out walking on the Tyler Potterfield Memorial Bridge, downtown Richmond, right behind us, and we're crossing. You can see like the water rapids. It rained pretty hard the last few days. The water's really moving, and it's pretty brown. But there's still kayakers and rafters out there, and some people are rope swinging into the water, but you gotta be careful because you don't want to get swept into that. You get eaten up pretty bad. So it's along this bridge in April of 1865 that Richmond, the capital of the Confederacy, we're gonna try and go to the White House of the Confederacy later today, but it was in April of 1865 that Richmond fell to the Union Army in the Civil War.
They have some really beautiful old brick buildings. Love all the history here. So now that we're a little bit closer, you can see that it's the American Civil War Museum, and it's just a really pretty building.
The brick, the steel, the glass, definitely our vibe. So as we're walking around, we see all these different trees. This one here, as you'll see, it's mulberries. They kind of look like blackberries that grow on the tree. We're on a suspension bridge that is hanging off of Interstate 1 and 301 right above us. I'll show you guys how it's kind of hung. It's really cool because it's got different dips and stuff, and we go right over the river again.
We were just reading a sign about these floodgates that they have, and you can see them behind me. They're barely out of the water. Usually it's like an actual wall, and then they have like the pointy bits that you're seeing right now, but right now they're only about 15 feet out of the water. They've gotten a ton of rain and a lot of runoff recently, so if you look at the other pictures, it's usually super blue. You can see the rocks, a lot of people swinging off ropes and doing tubing, but right now that's not really happening because there's just so much runoff right now.
Something to strive for. In this room right here is a small little meeting room, and Lincoln actually met in here and went back to DC, and 10 days later was assassinated.
We just wrapped up the tour of the John Marshall House right behind me, and he was a Chief Justice. As you saw earlier, we did a few house tours yesterday, and we heard quite a bit about the cemetery where the Davis family and founding fathers and 2 U.S. presidents are at.
2 U.S. presidents, the only president of the Confederacy, his whole family, and then there's a bunch of generals that were part of the Confederacy buried here. It's Hollywood Cemetery, so we're gonna go check it out.
It's supposed to be a really exciting cemetery, like as far as important people who are there, so we tried to find it earlier today, but we couldn't quite get there, so we took a different pathway, and now we're gonna go check it out.
Behind us here is the burial site of the 5th President of the United States, James Monroe, also where his wife and his daughter are buried on the sides of him. It's in one of the backside of the Hollywood Cemetery, and this is one of the 2 U.S. presidents that are buried here. And this is the tomb of John Tyler. John Tyler was the 23rd governor of Virginia. He was a U.S. congressman, a U.S. senator. He was the 23rd, he was a vice president, and he was the 10th president of the United States.
This is Jefferson Davis. He is the only president of the Confederacy.
So we drove about an hour north and west of Richmond to Shenandoah, and now we're at the Shenandoah Lodge.
We're at the pool right now at Shenandoah. It's our first full day. We were here for like a half day yesterday, And yeah, it's beautiful weather out, pretty warm, but not too hot. We're on a walk exploring. Don't know where this trail goes. Probably RVs, maybe the pool, but at least it's shaded. So at the end of the trail, we found this super cool amphitheater, and then I think right up the hill, we're gonna find the pool. Last day, here's the area of cabins that we were staying in. Pretty darn cute. Those ones down there are actually by the lake. They'd have a pretty good view. We're on one last walk before we leave. I think we're gonna go try to kayak. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we just walked down to the kayaks, but they are apparently closed. They have the closed flag up right now, so I guess they're not open. Back in the car, we packed up everything. We're gonna start the trek back, but I think we're gonna stop in Richmond because we have a museum pass and we didn't finish up like the Civil War museum and stuff. So gonna go check that out, I believe, on our way back.